Tonight on Nightcast, new shocking details of what happened inside the Hoffman home last weekend. How the senator, his wife, and their daughter fought back against a gunman.
A new threat of violence at the state capitol. The lobbyist arrested and the text that landed him there.
Navigating attacks between Iran and Israel half a world away. The protest as members of the local Jewish community wait to hear from family.
A Twin Cities pet store's claim to fame found in reptiles. What is now one of the oldest specialty reptile stores in the nation. In this week's So Minnesota. Nightcast starts right now.
Good evening. Everybody loves a Game 7. That's what we've got now. Hope you enjoyed that NBA game. I'm Kevin Dorr.
And I'm Lindsey Brown. A really busy night of news right now. First, strong storms are possible overnight and dangerous heat moving in.
You will want to plan accordingly. Here's a live look from our Minneapolis Sky Camp. Calm tonight, but your morning commute could be impacted.
That's right. The radar shows storms developing over the Dakotas right now. Here's Chris Reese with your forecast first.
Yeah, Kevin and Lindsay, I'm, of course, keeping a very close eye on those storms. So is the National Weather Service. In fact, look at this. Parts of western Minnesota from St. Cloud to Detroit Lakes, Alexandria, and down to Wilmer and Redwood Falls are under severe thunderstorm watches tonight. Those will go until 4 o'clock in the morning. And, of course, we'll be watching the skies as we go through the nighttime hours. They showed you the radar. Here it is again as those showers of thunderstorms continue to develop just to our west. This will develop into a line that pushes southeast overnight tonight. I'm going to stop this at 2 a.m. That's when I expect thunderstorms mainly to our west. They're on top of us closer to 4 o'clock in the morning. Some of us will be woken up overnight tonight. And then by 6 a.m., a lot of them are lingering as we start to head out the door. This means your morning commute could be impacted for some of us as well. I'm giving you the yellow light for your morning commute as strong storms come to an end. By 7 to 8, we'll start to dry things out as partly cloudy skies do return to the picture. But Kevin and Lindsay, coming up, we are going to talk about the dangerous heat I'm expecting this weekend. I'm going to show you brand new model data and just how hot it's projecting things to get.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. And now to the breaking news we're tracking tonight. An appeals court says President Trump can keep control of California National Guard troops he deployed in Los Angeles following protests over immigration raids. This new development within the last hour. The protests, which started 2 weeks ago, have since appeared to be winding down.
Also breaking here at home for the first time, the family of State Senator John Hoffman is laying out what happened inside their Champlin home last weekend when he and his wife Yvette were shot.
In a statement released late tonight, the Hoffmans say they and their daughter Hope woke up at 2 a.m. to pounding on the front door. Someone was asking for entry, claiming to be an officer. All three were there when Senator Hoffman opened the door.
And when they saw the gun pointed at them, the senator lunged for it, and he was shot 9 times. Yvette then pushed the gunman outside, but not before she was hit 8 times herself. Hope then locked the door and called 911.
The family is thanking first responders, medical professionals, and the community for the outpouring of support in the last week. Also today, Yvette was released from the hospital to continue her recovery at home.
Which is some great news.
It is. Also breaking, we've learned the name of the lobbyist arrested for making threats of violence at the state capitol.
Ben Henry is live at the Capitol right now with who the suspect is and how law enforcement learned about this threat. Ben?
Kevin Lindsay, the House Sergeant at Arms office says it's not aware of any further threat against staff or members of the legislature. As for the arrest we are learning more about tonight, sources say a text message mentioned shooting people in the face at the state capitol. So far tonight, though, no formal charges have been filed. According to the Carver County Jail roster, Jonathan Bone of Woodbury was arrested and booked Wednesday on suspicion of threats of violence. Bone is a lobbyist. He's listed as the public affairs director of the Interfaculty Organization, which represents faculty at the 7 state universities. Here's what led to the arrest. According to the House GOP, Representative Jim Nash told the House Sergeant at Arms and the Carver County Sheriff's Office about a threatening text message that a constituent received. They say it wasn't aimed at anyone particular, but we now know it mentioned shooting people in the face at the Capitol. This happened 5 days after the shootings of 2 Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses.
But I think as a whole, as a society, we can all do better.
We spoke to Mike Olson, who now runs a private security firm after being with the Secret Service for more than 20 years. He says political threats are up and everyone can help make a difference.
These days, it's never more true. I mean, people can't be afraid to pick up the phone and report things. You don't have to be right. That's somebody else's job to determine if there's a valid threat or whatnot. But you can't question when that hair on the back of your neck goes up to not want to pick up the phone and report it to somebody.
Minnesota Campaign Finance Board records show that Bone has made multiple contributions to DFL candidates starting back since 2009. Tonight, the DFL sent us a statement writing, "Violent threats have no place in our politics, and we condemn them unequivocally, no matter who makes them or whom they're directed toward." Live in St. Paul, Ben Henry, 5 Eyewitness News.
Ben, thank you. New tonight, a North Dakota man faces federal charges after investigators say he referenced the Minnesota lawmaker shootings in a threat sent to the North Dakota U.S. Attorney's Office. Police say Charles Dozel has repeatedly emailed his attorney and the U.S. Attorney's Office of North Dakota over a legal property issue. And the most recent email sent Sunday, he said, quote, "I don't want this situation to end up like Minnesota over the weekend, do you?" It's referencing the shooting of Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman, Senator John Hoffman, and their spouses just a day earlier. The email goes on to say, quote, "A representative and a lawmaker were shot, and one of them is dead, and all of you mentioned above are basically avoiding your responsibility, and that is creating some bad situations." Investigators say he also named 2 public officials and a judge. He was arrested on probable cause of threats against a federal official.
And here at home in the Metro tonight, a fence is standing around the Hortman home in Brooklyn Park 1 day after a reported break-in there. Police say somebody pried a plywood board off the back side of a house and broke a window this week. It's not believed anything was taken. The Hortman family had already been through and collected valuables. Police are looking for anyone involved in that break-in.
The weekend tragedy is now resulting in more community outreach, this time from a veterinary clinic. Saturday morning, the Hortmans' beloved golden retriever, Gilbert, was also shot. Surgeons and staff at Ally Veterinary Emergency and Referral say they did every life-saving measure they could, but Gilbert died. Now the clinic is raising money to help police canine units in the area.
It'll be a very personal thing to be able to see one good thing come from this, or an ability to pass on that story and that legacy.
And the goal is to raise $10,000, enough for 2 major surgeries. If you'd like to help, we have a link to the donation page on the KSTP app. Champlin Park High School will host an event tomorrow night to give the community space to heal following the shootings. It begins at 5:30. The mayors, council members, and city staff of both Champlin and Brooklyn Park will be there to help facilitate conversations, offer support, and provide resources. Tonight, the White House says President Trump could at any moment decide whether to strike Iran.
Earlier today, he said he would wait 2 weeks to see if Iran is willing to discuss its nuclear program.
I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks."
President's holding out hope negotiations can achieve U.S. and Israeli goals for Iran to shut down its nuclear weapons program. Meanwhile, Israel and Iran continue to exchange attacks. Israel carrying out strikes on one of Iran's nuclear reactors today.
And from Iran, a barrage of missiles hitting targets inside Israel, including this direct strike on a major hospital there. The blast sent staff running for their lives. Patients had already been evacuated days ago. Tomorrow in Geneva, representatives from France, Germany, and Britain will meet with Iran's foreign minister to try and find a diplomatic solution to the conflict. Now, sources tell ABC News, in fact, that Trump may be waiting for additional U.S. military assets to arrive before he makes a decision.
Here at home, a crowd gathered in Minneapolis tonight demanding the U.S. stay out of that fight.
Callan Gray spoke to Minnesotans who have loved ones there about what's happened and what could happen next.
A lot of emotions there tonight. Iran's foreign minister is expected to meet with European leaders tomorrow as the White House weighs whether to join the attacks on Iran. I spoke with people who have family there and in Israel, both worried about their loved ones tonight. In Minneapolis, a demonstration calling for the U.S. to stay out of the conflict between Israel and Iran.
I am critical because I believe in democracy and I'm seeing it failing.
Local artist Kantayun Amjadi first came to the U.S. from Iran when she was 19 and still has loved ones there.
I don't know how to describe how they're terrified. I feel like it's just another level of disruption. 24 hours of evacuation for a city that is in par with New York City.
Israel warned hundreds of thousands of people to evacuate the middle of Tehran earlier this week. President Trump urging evacuations on social media as well. He has called for the country's supreme leader to surrender. President Trump setting a 2-week deadline to make a decision on whether the U.S. military will get directly involved in the conflict.
Hopefully, they will do whatever it takes to make sure that the Iranian nuclear threat is over.
Sami Rahamin with the Jewish Community Relations Council of Minnesota and the Dakotas says his grandparents moved from Iran to Israel decades ago. His grandmother, now in her 90s, lives in an old Tel Aviv apartment.
As the sirens have blared, waking people up 3 times in the night to go and seek shelter, she is basically stuck in an unprotected space, and we just have to pray for the best.
He supports Israel's decision to attack Iran last week.
Iran is a threat not just to Israel, but to the United States and really open society.
But for Amjadi,
I'm still processing.
it's brought fear and anxiety.
I feel like, there are many layered emotions and reactions involved in it, but I feel like the top one that keeps coming up is anger and frustration, disappointment in the United States.
657 people have been killed in Iran since the bombing started, according to a human rights group tracking it. Israeli Emergency Services says 23 people have been killed there and more than 600 injured in Israel. As the situation escalates, American Airlines and United Airlines have now suspended flights to the Middle East.
Developments coming in fast.
Yeah. Thank you, Kellen.
I still ahead, one of the oldest specialty reptile pet stores in the country calls the Twin Cities home.
Why the owner of Twin Cities Reptile says he may never retire. That's in this week's So Minnesota.
Plus, we are gearing up for dangerous heat this weekend. The National Weather Service already issuing extreme heat warnings. We'll talk about just how hot it gets in the days to come.